to try to put together a program that assures efficiency, that assures that the money is being spent wisely and fairly. In 254 counties, I wish 157 are under 25,000, is a mammoth task. And I must tell you that the task force and the staff has done a tremendous job under very difficult circumstances, monitoring both fiscal and policy considerations. You can't expect them every year to go to the 254 counties. But they've developed a system of checks and balances. And they also physically go around and monitor both the fiscal. The fiscal is in better shape than the policy. The policy has to rely upon self-reporting in many counties, and that's all you can do for now. Now, if you doubled the staff, which I would recommend, you could do more. We're talking about seven people now managing $161 million, or responsible for $161 million. 7 staff. And I'll tell you, I've been around the state. In the summer of 2000, I actually spent 65 days in Texas. 65 days. And not one day was it under 100 degrees. So that gives you an idea of what part of the state that I traveled in. I traveled all over the state, and I wasn't the only one. There were a number of others that did that also. But it was really strange, some of the places that we went, and some of the information that we were provided. And I don't have time to tell you a lot of anecdotes. But there were really some amazing anecdotes. But one of the things about it was that whether it was a judge, a county official, a private lawyer, whoever it was, they would mostly tell us what was going on. Tell us the truth of what's going on, no matter how scary it might be, or you might think it was. They would tell us. It was almost as if there were people around the state who were waiting just to spill out all this stuff that they had. And much of it was good. Not much of it was good, but some of it was kind of strange. And we were the people that came around and got that information. I said to one public defender, this is strange what you're telling me that you're doing in court. You went to law school and all that kind of thing. And I said, why? Why do you do that? And he said to me, because no one like you ever comes around. And that was really revealing to me. It really was, because this was a lawyer who I felt was a solid lawyer, working in a small system. But he had absorbed everything that was going on, and his goal was to dispose of a case quickly, no matter what the issue was. He told me that when he first came to the public defender office, he was trained to look for an issue, an important issue in that case that would frame the whole case on behalf of the defendant. But now what he did was he looked for any fact or any reason why that case could be disposed. And that was sad. For me, it was sad. And I've never seen him again, but I find this in different parts of the country. This is the way some overworked attorneys, they don't have to be public defenders, they can be assigned counsel. So today, looking forward to FY 2009, the state's going to have between 20 and 30 million, am I right, Jim? In 2009, including some additional money. The state, in cooperation with the county, has done, in my book, a wonderful job in allocating insufficient funds, because 20 to 30 million is insufficient compared to what the counties are required to pay. And my experience has been, and this is true throughout the country, it's not just Texas, that the counties are tapped out. They're really tapped out. Their ability to raise taxes, and excuse me if I get this wrong in Texas, but in most states, their ability to raise taxes is very limited. And the state, however, can raise, subject to politics and getting turned out of office, can raise other taxes and other revenue that the counties cannot raise. So the counties are not in a position to increase their revenue by further taxation. They do what they can do, and they get some money from the state to help in that effort. But it is, what we're talking about here is a cooperative venture between the counties and the state. And I'm hoping over time that the state will find a way to substantially increase their proportion of the budget. It's now, I think, 25%, about 25% of it is state money. Is that right, Jim?
Actually, about 15%.
Okay, 15% state money and 85% county money. And yet, what they've done with the state money to me is important. Rather than just taking the total amount and dividing it all up by population, which would be one way of doing that, and nothing else, they put together this discretionary grant fund, and they put together a couple of other funds, including one recently that would help counties that have an emergency. These are usually death penalty cases or serious death penalty cases. There's additional funds available upon application for serious one-time efforts. Is that right? Jim's shaking his head up and down, yes. So there are 28 states in the country that now provide 100% funding, 28 states, 100% funding for indigent defense. There are another 5 states, totaling 33. There are another 5 states that provide more than 50% of the total funding from the state. And let me list a couple of these states just for you so you can see that this is not geographically established. These are states with 100% state funding: Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, New Mexico, Missouri, Kentucky, Florida, and Arkansas. They all have one common denominator. Some people wouldn't say that some of those states are in the South, and I get this all the time. Virginia's not in the South. Missouri's not in the South. Florida is different. They're not in the South. 13 states are in the South. Well, however you count them. I think that what you can see is that within the region that you're operating in, Texas, there are a number of states that have full state funding. The rest of the states are less than that. But Texas is down near the bottom. 15% is down near the bottom. I would say that there are only 6 or 7 states in the country that are as low as Texas is. So it's really important, and I don't know how you do it. You know better than I do. And these are difficult times. These are very difficult times for state government. There are 32 states that are facing a deficit in their state budget for '09, or projecting a deficit in the budget. And there's only certain things that you can do. And it's bad to raise taxes. Rainy day funds have run out in some states. The states that have mineral capacity are doing very well. Interesting, the states that are doing farming are doing well because of the cost of living. Anyways, I think that much praise is directed towards the staff and towards all of you that are working together and cooperatively together. And I was here last year, and if I had more time, I could tell you, I'd give you some examples of things that have happened in the past year. I know that the task force meets frequently, and what better audience than this? What better example of the working together than to look at this group out here today? So I wish you well. I hope I'm invited back again. I know that Andrea is going to talk about Roth-Gary, which I think is very important. And I want to thank you very much for your attention. And I love Texas.